Okay, I'm here right now, and I don't know, I just rigged up a water cooling setup for my brushless motor. It's just really hot outside, past few days, 95, 97 degrees, and it's just running slightly on the hot side to the point to where I gotta pull over and let it cool off. I never want my truck reaching 160, and I can go for about 15 minutes of good driving, but then I have to stop. And I have it geared just fine, honestly. In the wintertime it runs great, temperatures are fine, but here in the summertime it's just too hot, and I don't want to change my pinion gear out, and I still don't think that would help out. So I rigged up this water pump and a reservoir, which used to be an old nitro tank, and some silicone tubing around the motor, and got it rigged up to a simple switch and some 4 AA batteries. And if you're curious, the water pump motor came out of a Swiffer. The cat. But yeah, I took out the motor out of my Swiffer because I didn't need it anymore, and I was just curious. And yeah, it's a pretty good setup. I'm gonna turn it on now just to see the flow. You can see the water running. I can feel the water flowing through the tube. And these are just some aluminum piping, aluminum tube, such as this. It's hollow. So I just cut it with the Dremel and put it on. But yeah, that's the motor sitting in there. I don't know, everything's just kind of temporarily fitted in there. I did this in like 30 minutes. As you can see, my truck's kind of a Frankenstein anyways. It's if you're curious, it's an HBI Savage 25 Nitro converted into a brushless setup. It's running 5S 500 milliamp hour or 5000 milliamp hour battery, 30 discharge rate. It's a tack-on 2150 kV motor and an easy run speed controller. Stock 2-speed. Just fine. Everyone says you gotta convert to the single speed, but I don't think it's necessary. I've got about 25 charges so far on this battery, and everything is working properly. I am running the bulletproof differentials with the 4 spider gears from the Lightning series truck, a little bit stronger. So if you're interested in converting your Nitro Savage 25 into a brushless, I would say do it. It's a lot more cost effective to convert instead of buying a new truck for $400, $500, $600, you know. Some little things I did. I'm running some small Offna buggy wheels, 17mm hex hubs, some Proline Badlands. As you can see, I do a lot of driving in the dirt, and it's still wearing out pretty good. They're about 3 months old now, these tires. Pump is still running. Curious to see tomorrow what the temperatures would be like. Oh yeah, I'm also running that high-tech servo for the steering. 120 ounces of torque. It's more than enough to turn these little tires. I don't know, I went with smaller tires because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of wheelies, standing backflips, whatever. You're not moving, you're not accelerating, you're not putting the power to the ground, so you can't really enjoy your truck to the true potential if you're always doing wheelies. So I'm running smaller tires. Another good benefit to running smaller tires is you have a lot less stress on your drivetrain. There's not that much stress going to the differentials. There's not that much stress going to all your hubs, axles, your dog bones, your transmission gears. The motor will probably run cooler too because it doesn't have to work as hard. So I went with smaller tires for a number of reasons. Actually two, but yeah. 2.4 gigahertz system, Spectrum. Good solder, EC5 connectors, using good flux. If you're curious, this is the flux that I'm using. A little bit of dab of that on your wire. Nice hot solder iron, some good solder. You'll get good solder points. The last thing you want to do is cause any restrictions from battery to speed controller or speed controller to motor. Right here. Also shorten my cables from the speed controller to the motor. It's less resistance, less travel that the electricity has to go. These are all things that I do to try to make my truck run a little cooler, Speed controller running cooler. Because it's just really hot down in this area, in the south. So yeah, I'm going to try out this water cooling setup. It's really simple. Cost me next to nothing. I had free silicone tube laying around for my nitro stuff, and that's an old gas tank from an old nitro boat that no longer works because I have a giant hole in the hole. And the aluminum tube, you can buy that at any hobby store. The water pump, I don't know if your girlfriend, like this is my girlfriend's, I hope she doesn't care, but she never used it. So I took it apart and used it. It's relatively simple. Didn't cost me anything, and I'm sure that if I throw it away, she won't ever find out about it. So yeah, just leave some comments if you have any questions. I just figured I'd post this and see what you guys think. I understand my truck's a Frankenstein, but I could care less as long as my truck is reliable, durable, and tough, and it functions. That's all I care about. Alright.